August is usually a month bereft of relevant game releases. For our purposes, the August episode of Dossier every year is usually a rubber stamp thumbnail of the latest Madden football game. But not this year. There are 6 legitimate contenders for your wallet this month, with a dozen more that are worthy for those with as much free time as money. Let's check out our picks for games worth considering in August 2023. While millions of people await the release of Bethesda's next RPG opus, Starfield, the smart folks have been waiting for Baldur's Gate 3 with just as much anticipation. This gigantic action RPG set in the Dungeons & Dragons universe is set to flip the license on its head with a sprawling tale that features over 17,000 different ending variations. It will take you over 20 hours just to reach the titular town the game is named after. It's a massive game, and it's about time D&D got the video game it's deserved for decades. If you pick this up now, you'll likely be playing until you're ready to visit the stars. If RPGs mixed with Sims are more your speed, WrestleQuest just might put your wallet in a headlock. After all, you don't even have to like wrestling to enjoy this game. Just like other sports RPGs like Golf Story, the strong narrative and simulation elements make the subject matter almost irrelevant. But if you are a fan of the squared circle, its startling authenticity and wide scope will body slam your brain as you make your way from startup young grappler to full Nelson. It even features a selection of officially licensed cameos. After a very short marketing cycle and just 2 trailers, action RPG Atlas Fallen is ready to meet your acquaintance. This sand-blown adventure tasks you with toppling a despotic god as the people strive for freedom from tyranny. But you don't have to do it alone. Featuring cooperative play and a bevy of unique elements like sand surfing, shape-shifting armaments, and so much more, there's no shortage of ways to mix things up. While the newest Doom movie was just delayed, this one's coming in hot and should make for at least a passable replacement. When you think of the Dreamcast, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Well, after Sonic Adventure anyway. We're guessing it's an inline skating game called Jet Set Radio. That franchise has fallen by the wayside, but Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is here to fill the void, with more extreme sports and just as much urban influence. You play as a graffiti crew trying to take over territory from rival artists, and you'll need your skates, board, or bike to make it happen. The Popo is always there trying to shut down the fun, but they're up to much more than that, and it's up to you to uncover it. As we said, it's usually a foregone conclusion that Madden will headline every August episode of Dossier, but that's not the case this year. And a big reason for that is that Madden is really struggling to have a story to tell for this year's game. Sure, more rough edges have been sanded down, but when the big headline is bringing back an old feature like Training Camp, or an old mode like Superstar, things aren't looking so good. Yes, the field sense system has been improved for better tackling and passing, but the story mode has been completely removed, which some may say is addition by subtraction. Few horror movies have impacted filmmaking like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre did back in 1974. It took the gloves off and showed that horror cinema was just getting started. Fast forward to 2023, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game isn't quite as groundbreaking, but it still dabbles in the somewhat new asymmetrical multiplayer genre. You can play the role of survivor, or play as the wretched Sawyer family that has reared the psychotic Leatherface and handed him a chainsaw. It's coming to Xbox Game Pass on day 1, ensuring just about everyone will be dead by daylight. EA's Battlefield franchise has been through some bumps and bruises of late, so EA has shifted gears from firing a carbine to a conjuration with Immortals of Aveum. It's been coined Call of Duty with spells, but the setting and plot for this game couldn't be further from the traditional battleground found here on Earth. You join a mysterious elite order of battle mages trying to save the world while chaining together both offensive and defensive incantations that are completely upgradable. The action looks awesome, but we're a little concerned about the writing and plot. We'll find out soon if EA has a new franchise on its hands. There was a time where you couldn't go a week without a new 2D Dark Souls-style game being announced. The noise has settled down, and the cream has risen to the top, leaving games like Blasphemous 2 to fill the holes in From Software's release calendar. Best of all, this game doubles as a Metroidvania, and its gory gothic art will leave you wondering what developers were thinking back in the 16-bit era. You're charged with freeing a dilapidated world of its oppressive leaders, but it definitely won't be easy. If there's one thing the Blasphemous franchise has copied from Dark Souls, it's the punishing difficulty. And speaking of From Software, while it's still busy counting its Elden Ring money, it's been multitasking and reviving its decade-dormant mech battle franchise. Armored Core 6 has certainly picked up some Souls influences along its development cycle, but it's more in line with the classic entries in the franchise than Bloodborne. Battles are fast-paced, multi-directional, and projectile-driven, which gives the series its own flavor. Build your mech, take it into the field, and cross your fingers. There's no cooperative play, but there is competitive multiplayer to put your constructions to the test. We had a tough time deciding on which of the big indie games to include this month, but we've settled on Sea of Stars. This turn-based RPG is inspired by classics like Chrono Trigger, except the combat is driven by elemental considerations. Your party is comprised of up to 6 characters as you venture through the land hoping to restore peace. To do it, you'll have to topple enemies, sure, but there's also a healthy amount of environmental puzzles to solve and ships to sail. It's yet another Day 1 game on Game Pass, but it will also appear day and date on PlayStation Plus. Thanks for watching our rundown of games worth considering for August 2023. It's hot outside, and things won't cool off inside either if you spend some time at sifted.net, where we promise you will discover your next favorite game using the site's customized sifting mechanic. If you like what we're doing, head to patreon.com/sifted and give us a pledge. We appreciate every single dollar. We'll see you all next month.